Hi everyone, and it's Samara, and today I'm going to show you how to bind a journal, and we're going to be using some very basic supplies, some watercolor paper. We're just going to be using regular, this is a polyester, 100% polyester thread. Gutermann, it's a higher quality thread, but it's, it's not bookbinding thread. And just a regular needle, and then the last thing we'll be using is a paper piercer, but you could use whatever you have that you can make a hole with. So the first thing I'm going to do is just rip out a couple of papers here. I'm going to do, I think, 3. And using my paper cutter, I am just going to cut off this this edge over here. Sorry, you're seeing my real process. Okay, and so there we go. Let me move that out of the way. Oh, one more thing that you're going to need is a bone folder, or you can use the side of your scissors. So the next thing that we're going to do here is fold our paper in half. Use your bone folder to get a nice crease in there. Set that one aside. Do the same with your next sheet. And your next one. Okay, then you're going to put all of them one inside the other. And when you do this, this is called a signature. It's one group of pages. So you're going to just make sure they're real tight with each other. And then using your paper piercer, you're going to put in 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could measure them if you wanted to. I'm not going to. And then just go straight through the middle there, and can you see 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay, and then let's prepare a thread. The rule of thumb is to go 3 lengths, so 1, 2, 3, and then since I'm not using bookbinding thread, I'm just going to double that up. And let's go ahead and trim that and thread the needle. And then the last thing that I do is a lot of times when you look at the binding thread, it will be waxed. It's usually a waxed linen or a waxed cotton. Well, you just take a votive, and then you just put your thumb over the thread, and then pull the thread, and that's waxing your thread. So I just do it a couple times. Okay? So then let's go ahead and start making our book. So I go into the second hole, and then I am going to leave a little bit of a tail, usually a little bit longer. Then I'm going to go into the first hole from the back, or the front I guess, come up through that first hole. I scoot this thread aside, just kind of pull it down aside, and then I'm going to go back into that second hole, and then I go into the third hole, into the fourth, into the third hole, and we're pretty much done. How we finish this off is you do a square knot. So you go over under, and then you're going to go over under the opposite way. And this part's a little bit tricky because you do want it to be tight, nice and tight. So this is when it's helpful to have another set of hands. And then just pull it tight. Trim your thread. And let me put that needle away so I don't lose it. And now you have yourself a bound journal. And so I have made a couple. I made this one, obviously. I made this one. This one was using a longer piece of watercolor paper. It's not quite 140 pound, but I had it, so I used it. And this one has little folds and stuff. And I used, because it wasn't, the paper wasn't as thick, I used more pages. So you can make them whatever size. You can make some small ones. You can make some big ones. Have some fun. I actually prefer this type of journal as opposed to the spiral bound. But I think that you learn which journal you prefer by playing around with them. So anyway, that's it. And if you take care of this, it should last. Should last you a while. So enjoy. Can't wait to see what you guys make.